we ended up having wet carpets for about 4 or 5 days. Hey there, and welcome to Matt's Garage and Car Stories with Matt. Back when I was about 14 years old, actually not much was too different. I had a whole bunch of project cars that I worked on. Only difference was I worked on them in my parents' attached garage, and that meant that I was constantly walking in and out of the house, and we had a nice kind of cream colored, light gray sort of carpet in our entranceway. And my mom's a very meticulous housekeeper. Like, if there's a spot of dirt on the floor, she's got to vacuum the floor type thing. And so this was a constant battle between me and her growing up. I was constantly tracking in dirt, and she was constantly yelling at me to take my shoes off and clean up after myself, etc. And so my parents, as I mentioned in some other stories, they owned a little 25-seat restaurant, coffee shop, and a little 7-room motel in a little rural Saskatchewan town, and that's where I grew up. And so I was often at home working on my cars, and my parents were, of course, down at their motel on the other side of town working away. And so, I was often getting the house dirty while they were away working. But anyways, one day they happened to have a couple of guys come by in a mid-70s Camaro, metallic blue. Had a bunch of rust on it, but it looked like it had been fixed up, maybe 5 or 10 years previous, and done up really nice, and then it had kind of deteriorated and stuff, and it had hood pins in it and a few things that kind of hinted that it might not be just your average old Camaro. And the gentlemen who were driving this car were very typical looking Camaro owners, right down to the mullets and the whole deal. And they were, of course, bragging about how quick this car was, etc., etc. Besides all this, the reason why they were in town and what they were doing is mobile carpet cleaning, which is kind of funny because I later in life became a carpet cleaner myself. My wife and I ran a pretty decent sized carpet cleaning business for about 4 or 5 years, and really did pretty good with it until my back started giving out on me, and we just couldn't do it anymore. But anyways, yeah, that's what these guys were doing, and they were doing it out of the back of a Camaro. So you can kind of probably see where this story's going already. But either way, they were offering the service at a very impressively low rate, and my mom was kind of desperate to get rid of all this grease and grime that I had tracked into her carpets, and so she hired these guys to clean the carpets. And of course, I don't think they really had any training or anything. They probably went to a pawn shop and picked up a carpet cleaner. And anyways, they set to work on our carpets, and I remember I was there watching, and they didn't exactly do a lot of work, put it that way. They kind of made a pass over the carpets, and it was a sort of scenario where they definitely made sure they got the cleaning solution on the carpets, but they weren't so diligent on actually removing it back out of the carpets. So we ended up having wet carpets for about 4 or 5 days after they left. And I remember a lot of the time they were there, the guy was on the phone making phone calls, probably just running up our long distance plan at the time. But yeah, these guys it was kind of obvious, even to me as a younger person, that they were kind of, characters from the wrong side of town and that sort of thing. And anyways, but they were nice enough guys, aside from their lack of carpet cleaning abilities. And I was of course into their Camaro, and so they were telling me all about it and everything. And then later, after they were done our carpets, they wanted to go back to the motel and have some supper at my parents' little restaurant there. And so I actually, they said, you jump in the car with us and take you for a ride in the Camaro. And so I got to ride shotgun in this Camaro and had a 4-speed in it and everything. And, you know, it had a little bit of snap to it for sure. He got on it a few times, and it probably was a pretty healthy Chevy small block under the hood. Of course, he was talking about it like it was the fastest car on earth, but anyways, that's the story of the Camaro carpet cleaners. And if you ever have somebody come by your house cleaning carpets in a Camaro, you might want to just pass on that. Most carpet cleaners require more equipment than would actually fit in a Camaro to properly clean your carpets. So just bear that in mind and shop wisely. And thanks a lot for watching Matt's Garage and Car Stories with Matt. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have yourself a great day.